We're also covering the funeral of a fallen paramedic. A funeral mass is underway right now for Lieutenant Sarah McCarthy, who died suddenly in the line of duty. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Cook. Lieutenant McCarthy passed away a month after having a heart attack at the station. She spent more than 2 decades with the St. Charles County Ambulance District. She was deeply involved in the district's Honor Guard and the STARS program, too. She was 48 years old. We have team coverage of her funeral, starting with Tracy Henson. She's live at the Cathedral Basilica, where Mass has ended and the procession left moments ago.
Paul, the bells are just now starting to wrap up for Sarah McCarthy. This was an incredibly moving service presided over by Father Leo Stacia, and Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky was also on hand for a few blessings. Her big sister gave a speech in the church today, which was just moving, talking about how Sarah was born during an ice storm and that her tough spirit lived on after that. Her husband came up and introduced himself as her best friend, saying, "I knew I had an angel with me every day. I didn't know how much of an angel I had." Her partner was the last to speak, Sean Vischer. He served with her for the last 5 to 6 years and shared some very touching but funny stories about working with Sarah. Something special that Father Stacia said was that when somebody dies during Christmas time, you'll hear Christmas carols, and it can be hard to hear. But he said, when you hear Silent Night, the line "Sleep in Heavenly Peace," that's a miracle that has already happened for Sarah. The procession just left moments ago, and she's about to be laid to rest. In the Central West End, I'm Tracy Henson, 5 on your side.
All right, thanks, Tracy. A profound influence. This tribute began with McCarthy's fellow first responders moving across the region to pay their respects. Our team coverage continues with 5 on your side's Travis Cummings, who's been following that journey since before it started early this morning. And I've heard your descriptions, Travis. What's it like right now? What are you seeing?
Heavy but heartfelt, Paul, is how I describe it for you this afternoon. You know, we are here at the tail end. The procession just continued as it makes its way to Belle Reve and Creve Coeur, where McCarthy will be buried. Now, I got to tell you, this road was lined with first responder vehicles this afternoon as it just took off to continue its journey, which we were at the center of this voyage in her memory. But I want to show you some video from earlier this morning once we got it. This is the moment the procession began with the motorcade in front of the St. Charles County Ambulance District in St. Peters. It was leaving Baldwin and made a stop here. Agencies from across the region lined up in motorcycles, fire trucks, ambulances, and other service vehicles, all flashing their lights as district vehicles joined in. Something else interesting, we saw a helicopter in the air at one point making an X above the headquarters as flags lined the entrance. Something else, our cameras captured a lit up display for McCarthy, and we caught it on the earlier end of the morning. Black bunting draped over an ambulance unit, accompanied by a department photo of the fallen lieutenant and a wreath. And so, as Tracy said, you know, you heard what happened inside of the building, but we were able to experience the moments leading up. All of these folks giving the public an opportunity to really zone in on what this lieutenant has done for her community, for her family, and in her service. And so again, this will all end at Belle Reve this afternoon, where she'll be buried in Creve Coeur. We're live in the Central West End. Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.